Hello everyone, Jak Syn here on behalf of Fiend.com and Future Daze, and today we're sitting with Edgar and Karla of Luna Negra. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. Thank you very much for having us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for being on the show. I'm so looking forward to interviewing you guys today. I know right now with everything going on, everything's kind of crazy, and it's a nice day, and the sun was shining, birds chirping. Everybody's out and about. I mean, not everybody's out and about, but the majority of the people are out having walks and enjoying the nice weather out there. It's good to see you guys are doing well.
We've been really fortunate to be occupying our time with projects that have been furthering the events that we've been trying to foster and nurture out here. So for the time being, obviously, we can only do live streams. So we've been devoting a lot of our time to that.
And how is it out in Palm Springs right now? Like, what's it like?
Well, there's obviously the fact that we're entering summer, which means even if things were normal, the population out here drops. People leave in the summertime. So when you add everything that's going on, the virus pandemic, I mean, it's really just a ghost town out in the streets. Very desolate.
Oh, like clear streets, looks kind of like a zombie apocalypse kind of thing, you know what I mean?
At certain times of the day and in certain parts of town, yes.
Wow, that's a trip. You know what's funny is that I have never been to Palm Springs. Can you believe that?
Yeah, you got to make it out. There's been a lot of renovations recently that really modernized the entire downtown area, where before it used to have a sort of a cozy little village vibe. It's now very sleek and modern.
From everything that I've ever seen about Palm Springs, I've always wanted to check it out. I have never been, and I don't know why I've never been. I've always heard about it, and I've always said, you know, one day I'm going to go to Palm Springs, but I never have gone yet. I mean, I've passed by Palm Springs, passed, you know, around Palm Springs, but never have gone to Palm Springs. I am looking forward to going there so much. Very, very soon. And especially once you guys are back up and running with Luna Negra, I want to go check that out.
I was just going to say, we're not quite sure when that's going to happen, however, but when it does, you can best believe that we're going to go hard and we're going to go big.
Sounds great. I can't wait. So today, we're going to ask you guys a couple of questions and see where it goes from here. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Yes.
Definitely.
All right, let's get into it. What are 3 of your favorite moments since beginning Luna Negra?
I have to say that the moment that stands out the most was the night that we had a debut for the magazine that Javi made, which featured several amazing artists, and we were fortunate enough to be included in that list. But also on that night, we had a couple of incredible performers. Deep Cavity from Riverside brought some amazing death rock to the stage. And then a local band called Bone Pillar, who, believe it or not, it was mind-blowing. We had never heard of them before. In fact, this was actually their debut performance. So they rocked the house too. And the crowd was just on fire. The atmosphere was just thick and electric, and it was incredible. So, and I believe her favorite was a different experience, right?
Yes, my most favorite moment was our very first one. It was very small. No one really knew about Luna Negra, goth nights in Palm Springs. It was on Father's Day, and my sisters came into town from Redlands. They brought flowers. They brought a picture of my father, who had passed away at the moment 3 years. So we had the event in memory of my father, and it was amazing. It was special, and that was my special moment.
And the third one that stands out was the second one ever, because by that point in time, we had a little more of a following. More people had become aware of the events, and just one of those experiences where after the first one had such low attendance, we thought, you know, I wonder if we're actually reaching people with this. Well, the second one turned out to be just amazing and had a huge turnout. And people were really expressing their appreciation, and that just made me feel like all the work was worth it, just to be able to bring this out here to the Coachella Valley. So, but the second one is when we really got the ball rolling.
Those are some pretty amazing moments. I mean, having the first one, you know, in honor of your father, which was amazing. I mean, that's a great way to like start that. You know what I mean? Like where it's very personal. It's very like close to your heart. And then like kind of building into the second one where you're just kind of going like, you know what? Hey, I think, you know, I want to share more of this with the world. I think we kind of got something here. Let's just see how it goes in the next one. And then before you know it, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and then boom, 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 boom. You just kind of just run through it. And I guess it's kind of as the saying would go, and you remember the movie Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come.
Right, yes.
So it's true. If you build it, like they will come to it. If you show the love for the scene and the things that you love, other people will come and care for it as well. And they will bring other people and so on and so forth, and it'll just snowball from there. I like that what you were mentioning about, you know, Hobbies magazine, the zine, the Last Right zine. That's a pretty amazing magazine. Like, and for him to come out there and have that event with you guys, like, I'm sure that was just nuts, right?
Oh yeah. Yes, absolutely. I mean, let me put it to you this way. At the end of the night, we found a pair of underwear on the dance floor. No idea whose it was, but it was that kind of night, just so you know. It got really, really crazy, but in a good way.
Well, you know what? Everybody out there, if you watch this interview and you hear the story about the underwear, if you're missing a pair of underwear out there, chances are it probably was on the dance floor.
We left them at the bar. We left them behind the bar.
Well, if you're missing a pair of underwear, go down to the club. You'll find them behind the bar.
It was an absolute pleasure.
How did you both meet, and what has your journey been like?
We met during our high school years, actually. So rewind 25 or so years at this point. I had just moved to the Coachella Valley the first time. And I think I was, I don't know, 17-ish, right around there. And one day I was just out walking around, exploring my neighborhood. And as I was walking up to this one area, I saw her about to enter a store. She was hanging out with some friends. And literally, I had that movie moment where, you know, boy meets girl, and, you know, the new kid in town meets the girl. Yeah, you know, but the point is, I saw her and I literally stopped in my tracks, and like my jaw dropped, and I have never had that experience ever again, or even before that. And it became such a moment of like, well, it was literally love at first sight. And I stared at her from afar, thinking, who is this woman? Eventually, fast forward about, I don't know, a month or so, I didn't muster up the courage to speak to her right then and there, I must say. It wasn't until about a couple of months later when I met her through mutual friends. It was at a party, some underground party that was out here. And I remember that we knew already who each other was. We had both had our eye on each other, just from, you know, the school crowd that we hung out with.
I would get dropped off in front of the high school while he was hopping on a bus to go to a different school. So we would always meet walking paths.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I always made sure that I would get dropped off at the same time because he was going on the bus. So we were both like, oh, he's cute. And he was like, oh, she's good looking, you know?
We had our eyes on each other.
We both liked each other a lot.
And then when we actually finally met at that party, all of a sudden the DJ put on a song by The Cure. And we both looked at each other like, oh, I love The Cure. And that was our first dance, which led into our first kiss. And that's when the world just stopped and everything and everybody melted away.
Melted away.
And that's great. You guys both had your first kiss with The Cure. I mean, and what other great first kiss band would there be, right? I mean, The Cure. It's like, how could you go wrong with that? You know? And, you know, what you guys were mentioning, like high school sweethearts, even though you guys weren't going to the same high school, but you guys like cross paths. It's like you guys zinged there, and that's so great. And here you guys are, like, what, 25 years later?
25.
Yes, 25 years later.
Granted, we weren't together the entire time. During our high school years, you know, we were high school sweethearts, but then we parted ways amicably. You know, we each had our own lives as individuals, moved on, and you know, I had children with someone else. She had children with someone else, and then those relationships didn't quite work out, and then we reunited 22 years later. When I moved back to the Coachella Valley.
Even though ships part, sometimes they do cross paths again, right?
Yeah.
And it all comes full circle. And here you guys are doing this amazing event and really helping to build that amazing scene that you guys have over there. What was the inspiration behind throwing the Luna Negra events?
Oh, wow. There's been a lot of different inspirations, sources of inspiration, but I think I can narrow that down to a few of the major ones. First and foremost was becoming aware of a goth club in Mexico City called El Real Under, and watching videos of that. Actually, a documentary that featured that club along with the whole goth scene in Mexico. So that was highly motivational and inspirational. And then also coming to the realization that we, in going to events out of town, we kept noticing that we were meeting more and more people that were from out here. And decided at some point, you know what, there's gotta be something that we can do to offer a similar experience back in the Coachella Valley. So that was a motivator for sure. And then another inspirational source was Nightwave Radio, which I discovered just by casually looking up, you know, different types of music and different types of bands. And so I came across this and was introduced to a whole new variety of modern goth bands, which was really eye-opening for me. So combine all of those things, and we at some point realized that we really should be doing something out here, and that we have the means and we have the know-how, because I've had previous experience coordinating events elsewhere in other cities. And we decided to give it a shot.
Yeah.
So here we are, almost a year later, and things are obviously at less than desirable state right now because of the coronavirus pandemic. But you know what? It is special in its own way due to the fact that we have connections, or we're making connections with people from all over the world with the live streams. So where one coffin lid shut, another one opened up.
Isn't it great how even with you having the live stream now, you're still connecting with these people, and you're connecting with them on a larger scale than you were, you know, just regularly with the club. I mean, even though you would meet people in, you know, in person and you would talk to them, you know, online and stuff like that, when you're actually bringing the club worldwide online, people can see everything that you guys are doing, everything that you guys are promoting, the kind of people that you are, you know, and what you're doing. But it's great that you can appeal to a broader audience now. And I know, like, when you're building a club or an event in your town or in your city, and isn't it funny how that works out? Like, you'll go to different places, you'll go to different events, you'll start to see people that you see back home. You go, hey, what are you doing out here? And they're like, oh, well, I'm just coming out here to party. And you're kind of going like, well, you know, we could like do this back home too, right? And they're like, yeah, I mean, that would be great if somebody did it. And you go, you know what? That's a good idea. I think I'm going to do that. I know, like, you know, with our events out here, when we do these Future Daze events, like, you know, we're kind of going to Long Beach, we're kind of going like, oh, hey, there's people here in Long Beach that love synthwave. Let's just do some synthwave events out here in Long Beach. Let's see what happens. And it's kind of like how you guys are working it out there. You know, kind of, if you don't have a scene, create a scene in your city.
Oh,
Build
definitely.
it up.
Yeah, definitely. We're huge believers in DIY, especially when it comes to creating a movement or offering this type of experience in an area where there's never been something like this. We literally had to start completely on our own. Now at this point, we're so grateful that we have huge amounts of help from one of our newest resident DJs. His name is Peter. He goes by Dead Romeo, and he's been an incredible asset to the team. Incredible asset. Peter is the one who is here. He actually lives like 15 minutes from us, and so it's been great to add him onto the team and have his input as well as his help. We also have two amazing and incredibly talented resident DJs that live out of town. We have DJ Mijito in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, and we have Lay Apples down in the El Monte and Pomona area. Lay Apples is someone that we've actually worked with multiple times. We've had a couple of different events together. And then also DJ Mijito is someone that we've done live streams with. We haven't had the opportunity yet to work together in real life, but adding their talents to our team has just been an incredible thing for us. With this team that we have together, we're really gonna come up with some amazing things once we're able to open up again.
It's always great to have like-minded people, like working with like-minded people who have that same drive as you, that really kind of, you feed off that energy. They feed off the energy that you're giving out, and you feed off the energy that they're giving out, and it's just coming full circle. I mean, it really pushes you to do more, to shoot for more, to really just kind of like push as hard as you can to really bring your events to the forefront. And the DIY aspect, it's like that right there. You don't need thousands of dollars to pour into things. I mean, hell, if you can create something out of just the things that you have around you, I mean, that's how some of the greatest events and some of the greatest things that have been made in human history have came about, is because people said, you know what, I can do this. I can do this. Nothing can hold me back. I don't need thousands of dollars. I'm just going to use what I got around me and make it work.
And that's exactly what we did. We literally started with the bare bones, and we didn't know how it was going to go. We had no idea, really. I think our first event, we had maybe 7 people.
Yep.
7 people showed up. And we thought, okay, well, we had a good time. We enjoyed it, you know.
And 5 of those were my family.
So, you know, we thought to ourselves, oh, well, you know, let's keep going with it, and hopefully it'll reach people, the people that appreciate this, and the people that will enjoy it and benefit from it, hopefully. And sure enough, it did by the second one.
Yeah.
And, ever since then, we've had an incredible community, you know, form out here. A community of other people who appreciate this music and this art, and not only has it become you know, regulars or patrons, but it's actually a community where it seems everyone has become closer knit. And you know, now that everything is at a pause, we're still staying in touch through social media. So that's really cool.
And it really is amazing, because when you start showing people that you care about what you're doing, other people will care too. Other people will say, hey, you know what, these guys are really doing something amazing, and they really care about it. They're really serious about it. It's just so great, and then they will resonate with that. It will speak to them on another level, and they will really like get into it, and they will tell their friends about it, and so on and so forth. And it really will resonate with them, and they really will gravitate towards that. And that's just something that's so great to see.
We are genuinely so grateful to be in a position where we can have these events and bring these amazing artists. So I'm almost positive that our gratitude shows. People see that. You know, there's so much to be grateful for. There's so much appreciation that's reciprocated within every single one of our events. We appreciate everyone who comes to our events, and they show us their appreciation for having events of this nature here in this area. So it's definitely an experience that we're all nurturing together, and we're all growing from it and developing it as it goes. Like you said, literally creating something from nothing, creating a scene where there was never a scene of this type anyway.
And now it's right in your own backyard because you guys have built it. And you know what? Evie and I like to say this thing. We go, we're not winning unless we're all winning.
Yeah.
Very true.
That's very true. And, you know, that kind of touches on our sort of work ethic. We believe that we should all be supportive of each other. All of Southern California, I mean, really worldwide, but we are highly trying to push for more unity in the scene, especially here in Southern California, amongst the promoters and DJs and bands. And I feel that if we're all working together, we all benefit from it.
And that's very important, like working as a collective, because different people have different skills. You know, different people are good at one thing, and you know, some other people may not be good at, and so on and so forth. But having a collective can really push a lot of things forward. So it's great to see that you're making a lot of connections out there, and you're really building these relationships. And you know, I like to say too, building bridges, and that's what's most important, building bridges, because in order to unite a lot of things that are going on, we need to create those roads. We need to build those bridges and bring people together, because that's the way that success happens.
Definitely, and I have said that many times myself, especially in my social media posts, talking about how that is, in fact, one thing that we really emphasize is building bridges to unite the different scenes throughout Southern California. The way we do that is by booking guest DJs from other cities, and of course bringing in bands that are local to Southern California, but then also bands that are touring through the area at that moment in time. And everyone that we've ever talked to at some point or another has been supportive of that. And I feel like if we can create bridges, we're essentially facilitating things to open doors for other people that might be interested in pursuing, you know, these events, whether it be for their own pleasure or if they want to actually have their own events, and also for other bands that are possibly looking to get booked at venues. So it just creates more opportunities for everybody.
What kind of lessons have you learned from your events?
There's been a lot of positive moments, and then of course there's been a few not so positive moments during our events. But through it all, I think the most important thing that we both have learned is that you have to roll with people who have integrity. Surround yourself with people who keep their word.
Very important.
People who do what they say they're going to do. People who mean what they say and say what they mean. Otherwise, if you don't surround yourself with people who are reliable, trustworthy, and so on, then you're going to encounter some problems. So, but we've been very fortunate in that we've had all positive experiences in that area with everyone that we've surrounded ourselves with. Another lesson that I've learned is that it's very important. In fact, I feel that it's vital for the growth of the scene to give artists their first big break. In fact, give a lot of artists their first big break. Yes, of course, everybody wants to see the big names, and that's great. But there are also so many incredibly talented up-and-coming artists, artists who've never performed and want to. Give them a chance. Give them a chance. I think that in the end, everyone will have a better experience, including you, and then of course the artists and everyone at the show who gets to be introduced to someone new and possibly their new favorite artist.
Those are two very important points there. I mean, working with people who have integrity, like working with people who are like-minded, somebody who has the same goals in mind as you, and somebody who wants to work to further what you're doing. And then also giving artists like their shot. It's very important that we nurture local artists and we expand on their stories and who they are. Give them a medium to share their art with the world. I mean, there are so many talented bands out there, so many talented artists, so many talented musicians, you know. But a lot of the time, some of these talented people, they get swept under the rug, you know, and they don't get that shot to kind of show what they can do. So it's really great that you guys are putting them out in the forefront and you are giving them a medium to share their art with the world.
You know, I think that they are the lifeblood, really, of a progressive and forward-moving scene. So I feel that that's really important. And we've always done it, and we will continue to do so. In addition to booking the bigger name artists as well, of course, but always have our doors open to those bands who have never had a break anywhere else.
And at the end of these events, you know, you'll have an artist that walks away from it and goes, you know what? I did a really great job, and these guys really believed in me and what I can do, and that was important for me because they're going to go on to their next event with that confidence, going, you know what? Hey, these guys gave me a shot. They took a chance on me. And that chance is going to open up a lot more doors for them in the future because it's exposed them to people who wouldn't necessarily have that chance to see what they could do. And I know a lot of times, you know, now in today's day and age, like we find a lot of our music online, you know, and it's up to the promoters out there and the people who create the events to really kind of push those live acts so people can see them in their natural form. Because you can look through playlist after playlist after playlist and find all kinds of artists and listen to their tracks and go, wow, this sounds amazing. But it's really another thing when you can be out and about at a club that you wouldn't normally go to and then all of a sudden go, man, I got to see like 2 amazing acts tonight, and both of them are bands that I would have never thought in a million years I would listen to or enjoy or find anywhere. And you guys gave them a chance to do that.
A live music performance is absolute magic. Yes, it's great to stream music, of course, but there's just nothing that compares to watching them performing the music right in front of you. Add to that the fact that you're having a communal experience with a room full of other people who are so entranced by the magic being created that it literally elevates the spirit and the energy levels of everybody's internal as well as external experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can really feel the energy in the room. I mean, we as human beings emit all kinds of energy, and we really feed off that energy. And when you are in a room full of people with like-minded energy, you can really feel it. You definitely can. The bands up there on the stage and the artists up there on stage can really feel that as well. So thank you for doing all that you guys are doing. I really appreciate it.
The bands that we've had the pleasure and the good fortune to work with, we always try to focus on providing a positive experience for them. We try to make sure that they're accommodated, that they're comfortable, that they feel safe and secure and appreciated.
So what's next for you both in Luna Negra?
Well, we had a lot of things planned until the pandemic. So now we're just focusing on our live stream and reaching worldwide and having a lot of fun with that.
And we've had a lot of positive feedback from the live streams. And like you said, we're just reaching all over the world.
Worldwide.
And it's so great you guys are able to do that with your event, like being able to reach all these people worldwide. It puts a little bright spot in people's days because you see that the creative people out there are still doing awesome events, are still sharing what they love with the world. And that's really, really important, especially in this day.
I think there's such a thing as music therapy, honestly.
Yes.
I think, I know that it helps me get through tough times. It has helped me get through tough times. In fact, specific songs have helped me get through really tough times. I'm sure we can all vouch for that, relate to that. So yeah, a lot of people are having hard times getting through this. Not everybody is able to socialize with like roommates or loved ones within their household. I think they're the ones who are benefiting the most. I first heard the term by DJ Mijito, who states that that is what he's trying to achieve with his live streams. And I definitely feel it, and I'm sure others too, that when we hear certain kinds of music, it helps us get through some tough times or simply elevates our mood. And I think that's been a big help for a lot of people, including myself.
That's true. Music is a cure, and it is helping a lot of people out there, especially now. And to everybody out there, if you feel isolated or you feel sad, pop in some music, pop in a record, pop in a CD, whatever. Listen to it in its entirety. Go on a journey and really enjoy it, because music really is a cure for any type of ailment. Doesn't matter if you're feeling down in the dumps about a breakup or you're feeling down in the dumps about what's going on in the world currently. Music can really help you right through that. So do it, listen to it, be it, live it, enjoy it.
We've had people reach out to us specifically to say how having these events available to them is helping them get through this just a little bit easier. And that's great. I mean, that makes it all worth it.
That's definitely true. It does make it all worth it. Like even like these interviews, like the interview that we're doing right now, like we get messages, we get comments, people sending us stuff, telling us, hey, being able to see these interviews is really helping my mind, really helping me to deal with everything going on, because we did have the proverbial rug swept right out from under us, like pulled right out from under us. And we did fall flat on our face, in March. And a lot of people were kind of going like, what do I do right now? All the plans are canceled. My world has changed literally overnight. Like, what can I do now? And then all of a sudden, we gained our traction. We as human beings have gained our traction again and going, you know what? If I can't do events, if I can't throw events in person, I can throw events online. I can share what I want to share with the world through another medium. And that's so great that we are able to be so resilient in this day and age. And we have the tool, which is the internet, at our disposal. And I got to tell you, Having the internet is so great because we get to share what we love with everybody else out there, and we can share a positive message with people. And that's what's important. These interviews, like what we're doing right now, that's really helping. Just like what you guys are doing with the live stream, it's really helping a lot of people. And if you can't go to the club in person, you can definitely stream it online, and it'll be just like you're there.
Very good point.
Yeah.
And I do want to add to that. Another reason that we're doing these events is to try to promote the artists. You know, the music industry took a hard hit. All of our beloved bands got all their shows canceled. You know, their income took a huge nosedive. And so this is our way of helping them get a little bit more notoriety. And hopefully we can bring awareness to people so that they'll be introduced to a band that they've never heard before and go out and buy their music. So that's another driving force for us doing the live streams currently.
What positive message would you give your fans out there?
Support each other through these hard times. Call your loved ones, reach out to your friends. Check up on all your friends that you don't see on social media posting or anything. Maybe they're busy, but just check up on your friends, on your family, brothers, sisters. Reach out and wash your hands.
I would say there's many different ways that we can all help each other right now. One of those ways is to be supportive of the live stream events that are out there. Contribute yourself to the scene by simply being there, by simply being present, and supporting your local bands, your local DJs, your local promoters. You know, promoters and DJs also took a hard hit, and you know, with all the bars closing now, there's nowhere to have events. So, but by you simply being present is a huge, huge way that you can continue to help the scene grow.
Wise words right there. Everybody out there, take those words in. Check on loved ones. Check on people that you care about. If you haven't seen them online for a while or you haven't talked to them on the phone, you know, maybe give them a call, take a video chat, you know, set up a group chat, you know, watch live streams, support people. You know, do whatever you have to do and keep that connection going, because right now it's so very, very important. And like what you guys are doing with helping artists out there to kind of share their sound with the world, that's so great. Thank you guys so much for all that you guys are doing out there in Palm Springs and with sharing your guys' love for this stuff with the world. Thank you guys for sitting here tonight and having this interview. Thank you to everybody out there for tuning in and watching us have this conversation. If you guys like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the Fiend YouTube page, as we have many more great artist interviews coming soon. And be sure to follow Luna Negra on all their social media, because they're doing some amazing stuff out there. Thank you guys so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys in person very, very soon and coming to one of your events.
Thank you. And I have to say one more thing. Thank you for putting in all the time and effort to put these videos together. They're also a huge source of inspiration. Getting to know some of these artists a little more intimately is a really cool detail, a nice insight, a nice way to enjoy the day, and really actually brightens things up quite a bit.
Definitely. And thank you guys. Thank you guys for those kind words. I really appreciate it. And you know what? To everybody out there, stay safe. Stay safe and love each other. And we'll see you guys again really soon.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.